Hello beautiful! Remember how I said several times that I would make a Tokyo vlog? Well, it didn't happen. I filmed a bit, but everything was just... No, I'm not gonna use it. So I thought later, how about at least I could talk about my experiences at the concerts, but now it's already like 3 months later, so I think it's... no, it doesn't make any sense anymore. Yeah, excuse me, all because my mind is a shipwreck at the bottom of the ocean. Literally. So anyways, I think I should update a bit more. Remember some time ago I made a cringy video, like every video that I make, in which I talked about 2 people which were like extremely elitist and toxic and blah blah blah, and I was like, hey listen, we were not unique, we had the bag. This bag, we all had this bag, we weren't special at all. Yeah, people suggested that I should talk about my bag. So I'm here, talking about my bag now. Aha! Woohoo! Prepare for an entertaining video. Yes, it's going to be. So because I think it's kind of to just talk about a bag, I thought, how about I could talk about all the bags that I customized, or rather made by myself, actually, yes. At least all the bags that I still have. Or that are not completely broken by now. And then I can show everyone that I used to be a really creative person. Back in the day, when I was young and I still had dreams and hopes. Prepare for an interesting video, I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But I want to update something because... I want to update something. As you all know, this bag. Let's start off with a bit of history of that bag. I think I've already mentioned this in the last video. Or in the video that made me do this. As you might know, we had no merchandise back in the days, in the early 2000s. Or the 90s kids, maybe, I don't know when they started wearing that stuff. But this was like the ultimate gothic band back then. Seriously, every goth shop had this Kampftasche. That's how it's called, I think. Or that's how they used to call it. It's like a military thing, I think it's like the you had the military backpack, but that was too manly, so the girls all had that bag, that thing bag, I don't know what you call this bag, but that thing with the thing. Yeah, that's the ultimate goth bag of the early 2000s, maybe. We all had that bag. Most importantly, we were annoying as fuck. Seriously, imagine being a group of... Back then we used to be like at least 100 people joining Visual K meetups. And now we're only 5. Imagine being 100 people walking around with this. People must have thought that a horde of cows is coming up to them. Or cats. Let's say cats, because those are little, like, tiny... Nico-chan! I'm pretty strange today. Of course, we adapted something from the anime fans back then, because the anime fans also had no merch. I think. I don't know. Probably not. And the anime fans also had like printed out pictures with, I don't know, like people. They had like a lot of those things on their bags. So we had to make our own merchandise because we were uncreative as fuck. We also used to write on those bags before. Luckily I was able to cover mine up. Really? Wow. I don't see it anymore. I see it a bit, yes, okay. I really did it really bad. I had a backpack back then with which I wrote Vanilla Ninja and I think Linkin Park? I'm not sure. And that looked really good because it was the logo, but for Dion Grey I just took my Tipp-Ex and I just wrote Dion Grey on here, and that was really bad. It was not even a logo, it was just my ugly ass handwriting saying Dion Grey. I'm pretty glad that I covered it up. I think I used an editing to cover it up. Oh yeah, I think if you look closely you can still see it there. Oh, it's so bad. I even had a button machine and made my Dion Grey bag. Dion Grey. I also had an unscroll one, but I think it's lost. We had no merchandise, so we printed out bags, pictures, because we were fucking noobs. Most of the people actually used an, I don't know how you call it, but Laminiergerät. But I'm a poor child, so I used foil. Safety pins, very important as a VK fan back in the early 2000s. So what bands do I have here? I actually, the week that I am, I wore this for quite some time. I think the last update should be around 2013, considering this picture up here. I think the oldest one is probably IRB. Back when IRB was still. Yes, Mook, which you can barely see anymore. Vanessa, back when Genki was unknown and everyone, and I was just telling everyone, hey, do you know this vocalist? He's pretty hot and cool and blah, and everyone was like, I don't fucking care. And then Midget Break came up and everyone was like, oh my god, look at Tizuku, and I was just there like, what the fuck? Unsraw, and really old monolith picture with a really awful styling. This is supposed to be D-Pain, you can barely see it anymore, like, this one doesn't even exist anymore. Then one of the newest ones, No God. I don't know why I had a No God face. Daisuke. And the newest one as well, Amaranix. Yes, I wore this quite some time, I guess. I would still wear this, to be honest, but it's pretty cringy to run around with that shit. So I should fix it and make some own patches. So, ew. The foil is like breaking, it's everywhere. It's pretty, I used it quite often. It's already sewn together. Wow. Yes, my day-to-day school bag, which probably caused a lot of my back damage, back pain problems. Because, yeah, having a heavy bag all the time like this is probably not the best idea, but yeah, who gives a shit about health if you're young and you're like, no, I need to leave a statement, you know. Yeah. Amazing! So next bag, what have I done? It's actually, I think the first one that I actually did on my own. I used to work at a goth shop 2 weeks. So they had this bunny bag and I was like, ooh, I wanna have it, but it's too expensive. So I was like, hey, why not make it on my own? And I got out and got all the stuff, and it's not usable, but it's this one. It's a little bunny bag. It's way too small, obviously. It kind of looks like a plushie. Classic. The old Visual K design thing. I recently figured out who was responsible for this one. There was an design contest on Animex back in the days, and yeah, someone designed this as like an official Visual K logo. A German girl created this one, and somehow it ended up being spread all over the world, and everyone knew this, and yeah, it's amazing. It's really small, like, let's take my phone. Oh, amazing! Maybe if I force it, no, I can't even force it inside. It's pretty useful, as you might see. But it's cute. I think it's a cute plushie. So honestly, I think it's punky. Like, I don't know where the punkiness in German VK came from, but we were all really punky back in the days. Like, really. Probably Sexport inspired or something. I don't know. It's pretty similar to the one that I saw in the goth shop, except for, I think, those things here. I think it did not have, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's my bunny bag. It's useful. And I think it's cute. Actually, I did a good job, and it's all hand sewn. Looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, I can clearly see this. This is one of the first things that I ever made. I mean, look at this. What the fuck? What is this? Look at this. This whole... But I'm very proud. It's pretty. So now it's hanging on the wall because it's useless, and I wouldn't wear it like a... Did I already mention that in the end I paid even more for all the stuff that I had to get for this one than if I would have just gotten it in the goth shop? And it's not even finished. Like, I mean, I would have needed to add some things where you can hang it up. Make one of those things so that I could actually use it, you know? But I didn't. Probably because it turned out way too small, and I was like, I think I intended to just use it with the safety pin and just put it on my pants somewhere and then, yeah, wow. But I never did. Like, really, I never used this. It was just made to hang on the wall and lay around and yeah. It was so expensive because I was really bad at calculating. The amount of pink fabric that I had was ridiculous. I probably didn't calculate anything at all. I was just, I take this. But it's cute and it's creative. I like it. I like it a lot, really, I like it a lot. So, and as I mentioned, I had a ridiculously amount of pink fabric left. So I thought, how about making a skirt? But then I was like, no. Later, I remember how Sexport always brought up those, I don't know, I thought it was a bag, like a belt bag, which basically you just had this, it was just a piece of fabric like this. And then you would just hang it on your belt and it would look cool. On your belt. I thought it would be a bag. So I was like, I can't afford this one, or at least I have no fucking idea how to order it closer child. I still don't know. I should probably just try it. I think it's not that hard. I thought I want a bag like this as well. I'm just gonna make it. So I made one. I'm gonna show you the bag. The back side first, so that you know what I'm talking about. Those things, you know, Sexport had them quite a lot. They had this Sexport patch in the middle. Let me first mention that I still have a ridiculous amount of that fabric left. Like, I was very young, okay. I think it's not how it used to look like. I think I made this in 2011 or something. A few things probably fell off by now, but never mind. So this is how it looks like. Woo! Amazing, right? Yes, and it's actually not that good to use because you can see at those. I'm not making an effort with this. It still looks like that because I'm just like, who cares? Like you can see at the red part that I already owned my sewing machine, but it's really ridiculous. Look at this. What is this? But you can use it. It's heavy because it's the pink fabric was just too thin, so I had to add some like jacket hoodie material because I had nothing else left. But this is how it looks like. I like the things that I put on there. That's pretty cool. The gray button that I bought at their live in 2009, I think it looks like. Actually, it looks like the 2007 live. Monanes, yay, and a Sadi, which I made actually for an internet friend back in the days, and he wanted, when he figured out that I had a button machine, he was like, oh, can you make me a button? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I made him Sadi, Plastic Tree, and another band that I totally forgot, button, and then he never showed up to any fan meetings, and I was like, okay, just gotta throw them away, except for Sadi. Yeah, I added some chains. And I made a button, which is with the Muck logo button patch. And I'm still very proud of this one. Actually, I'm not if I look closer. Yeah, I probably do this more often in the future. Patches and shirts. Especially shirts. I'm trying to make a Jaluka shirt in the future. Because fucking Jaluka shirts are always sold out and it annoys me. It annoys the shit off. So the next bag that I made was always the bag again. This one, it's made out of a t-shirt. So remember back in the days, Amaranix had an Europe tour. And I was so amazed because Amaranix was a band that saved me from quitting Visual K. Honestly. I wanted to buy a tour shirt because back in the day I felt like whenever I would attend a concert I would have to buy a t-shirt. Today I'm much smarter, so this is why I ended up buying that scapegoat t-shirt back there, which is now, because this is not a wearable t-shirt for me. I mean, look at this, so it's now a pillow. Back to the Amaranix concert. They had no t-shirts left at the concert in Hamburg because all the merchandise they brought was already sold in Paris and in Cologne. It was completely sold out. They didn't even have CDs left. All they had were a few stickers, which nobody wanted, and checkies, which were only checkies that they had to make after the concert, so there were... the merch was a disaster. And because of that, because the Nachfrage was so big, they decided to make a reprint of the t-shirts back when they were back in Japan, but nobody bought them. But I wanted to have another t-shirt, which was the Silhouette t-shirt, because their fans were called Silhouettes, and I wanted this one. Never mind, I ordered the Silhouette t-shirt and got the tour shirt, and I was like, yay, now I have that fucking t-shirt, and I'm like, I mean, I still wanted it back in the concert, but I didn't get it, so I was like, oh, never mind. Funny thing is, I have two now. Is anyone still following me? I'm talking so much crap, it's so my brain is like, okay, I'm here, now I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm very confused. A brain wreck, you know? A brain wreck. Yeah, that makes sense to shipwreck at a dark place. And sometimes a fish comes by to say hello. Help me. I have two of those shirts because back before they disbanded, they were like, hey, let's make some Happy New Year boxes, which were basically just, hey, we already know that we're going to disband it, we need to fucking get the merchandise out. So everyone who ordered one of those boxes got like a CD and 5 checkies or 6 checkies or something, and a sticker and blah blah blah, and a randomly selected piece of merchandise. And of course I got the t-shirt as well. And I was like, what the fuck do I need 2 t-shirts? I don't even need the first one because it's ugly. So this is actually the front of the t-shirt. Wow, it's just a plain black t-shirt. Oh my god. And the back looked pretty cool, but I was like... Anyways, I'm talking too much. This is the bag that I made out of the t-shirt. Ta-da! Wow, it's actually freaking cool. Like, really, I love it. It's too close, but I really like it a lot. Only sad thing is that those things here, I don't know the English name, they used to be golden, but they're like from constantly rubbing my arm at them, they turned silver. But I think I'm very proud of this bag, it's cool. But it's also very heavy because it's a t-shirt, and you know, t-shirt is like, woo! So I had to add, I had some of the, I used to make a plushie out of this one, I can show you the plushie. I'm such a creative person, oh my god! I needed a plushie for a decora outfit. And I needed... the whole bag is filled with this purple fabric, and look how much I actually needed. That's all I needed. I gotta admit, this one is completely ripped off of Sexport. I just had this Amaranix shirt and the print is... I would have loved if they would have made like the tour dates at the back of the shirt and the band logo at the front. That one would have been amazing. Like, look at this at the... That would have been so nice. But no, we just put everything on the bag, like, and in the front we have like a plain black t-shirt because who wears jackets, you know? So yeah, I ripped this completely off of Sexport. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do out of this bag? And so I looked up Sexport bags and I was just like, that's a nice idea. Like, I already did this with the Usagide thing, but I didn't come up with the idea of putting those whole thingies in there. Yeah, and of course this one is, the arrangement of the things is also completely ripped off of Sexport, but hey, I'm such a copycat. And this one is actually, I have no idea where I got those things from. Oh, it's probably from a t-shirt. Yeah, it's from a t-shirt. We had, oh yes, absolutely, I remember. Back in the Lady Gaga days, like, most black clothing had like those things on top of them, usually around here. And sometimes I just bought the t-shirt with a really cool print and it had like that shit all over the place, and I was like... And I kept some of them and used them. But this is... I'm very proud of it. The only thing is... you can probably see... Well, it's a t-shirt, so of course it was very bouncy in the beginning, and the thing where I've saw it together was just, it couldn't last. That was impossible. But I'm glad that I can use it now. It's stretched to the limit, so now I could actually, I should cut this off. It's pretty nasty, but other than that, I'm pretty proud of this, except for, well, that looks quite shitty. I had to add another layer of fabric into it. because the pullover material which I had for the
Nappy bunny.
was just too stretchy as well. That bag, it was a huge disaster. How do you pronounce this? So I got out and bought some owl fabric which was on sale. So now I can actually use it without having any issues. But it's ridiculously heavy. Seriously, I mean it's 3 layers of fabric and 2 of them are very thick. So it's heavy, but
I like it, it's pretty. Look at this.
I really like it. It's cool. Because it's like very deep. I thought, I'm gonna make a small bag. Amazing. I wore this like every day back when I was in Tokyo for 3 months because Amaranix still had a very, they still have, I mean they saved me from quitting. Saved me. I don't know if you can call it saving, but yeah, they kept me on to VK back in the days. And we are already at the last bag. Don't worry, it's almost soon. Remember this bag? It's pink. So I was like, actually, it's very cool. But it's pink, you know? And pink is like, when do I wear? Never mind. Who wears pink? Disgusting. Yeah, I thought I needed a black one and I made a black one. Back of it. It was actually very nice. That was fabric which was on sale. And I saw it and was like, oh, that fabric is amazing. I needed it for an outfit which I made earlier. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Never mind. It was on sale, though it was really amazing. I paid like maybe $5 for that piece of fabric, and I like the print of it. Like it's not a print. It's actually originally it looked like this. Yes, amazing. Important safety pins, you know, back old 2000, early 2000s VK fan, you know, and because Kagero logo. I actually think I made it quite good. Well, it could be better, but I think you can. It's Kagero. Like really, those things here. Ugh. At one point, I was just like, oh fuck it! I just make everything silver and then I fill out and I draw on top of it to get the like the wing structure in there. I was so annoyed by this one. I don't even know. I've made worse, honestly. Same idea, but it works. I'm actually very surprised that those things here still hold. Those are just not the, you need to punch a hole in it and then it lasts. Those are just some, you stick it in and then... So I'm very surprised that this actually, that this didn't fall off, and I'm very happy about it because it's, I think, the same material. Yeah, that's the owl one, just not the black side on top, but the bright side, because I figured for the Amaranix bag that the black side inside is, it's dark. it's hard to find things in there, so I was like, I'll just use the bright side and then maybe you can find your stuff. It's a good idea. I mean, it's not like it's not a deep bag, but it still would make things harder if it would be black. It originally looked like this, and then after the Gazette Live I just added the, which I think is perfect for this one. I like it. I really like it a lot. Like the chains from the people often ask me where I get those things, and those chains, and you can get them at basically every sometimes you can get them at art supply shops, sometimes, but usually where you can always find them is property market, building center, home improvement market, construction market. Nah, that's probably not for non-business people. Yeah, so you can get them at the stores where you would get your wood or something, you know? Baumarkt. Obi. Best supplier for Ketten. So yeah, all the good-looking bags that I made by myself. Amazing, right? Did you have fun? I'm wobbling. Yeah, I just wanted to do something before I start the whole script stuff again, because it's really exhausting to make scripts when you feel like you don't belong anywhere. I'm trying to be more creative and do some DIY videos, maybe. I try to fix my video quality, it's hard. I mean, every video that I've put out is fucking cringy. Yes, hope you enjoyed. I'll try to keep things up. I gotta say this over and over again until maybe someday I'll actually be able to do so. If you have anything that you would like to hear me talk about, like maybe not my bag, but my something, let me know. I wouldn't mind having some ideas because I always feel very lost. Like I have a lot of ideas, but I'm usually too... Never mind, I feel too worthless to talk about them. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye, stay lovely.